Right at this very moment in time, we are doing 2 jobs that help support our travels. So the first one is this video that you're watching. And then over here, Brooke's setting up the camera as part of a little photo shoot that we're doing. So we're just walking down to the dam to take some more photos down there of this campsite. But 2 things I wanted to touch on. Firstly, while we are traveling full time at the moment, it's not indefinitely. We do have an end date. I do have a job to go back to. And the other thing is we are largely just traveling on our savings. But in this video, I want to talk about some of the ways that we have made money to support our travels, some of the ways that we afford to travel as well, which is how we save a lot of money and travel cheaply, some of the opportunities that have presented themselves to us as well, and some of the opportunities that we've seen other people take up. So the first way that I mentioned is YouTube. How nice is this spot, by the way? This is the dam down at the campsite we're staying at. There's a bunch of kangaroos sitting over on the other side. So we obviously make these YouTube videos and we don't make a lot of money from that, but we do make a small amount of money from the ads that play. If you are interested in exactly how much that is for a channel of our size, I'll link it up here somewhere, but we have done a video talking about exactly how you get paid, how much we get paid, and the way that you get the channel monetized.
What the fuck was that? Reveal yourself. I think it was a frog.
Anyway, what I was gonna say is we're gonna go finish shooting these photos and then we'll talk a bit more about the photos later or tomorrow. Well, we've arrived at our next camp to shoot, but it's very hot now, so we're gonna go for a swim before we do anything else.
Where's the log? Help me. It's like I didn't draft in the bush.
It's pushed me off.
Oh, this isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a dragonfly. Now it is coming to that time where I actually have to do some work. The light is just starting to get nice out here, and I am cleaning down this part of the van. The rest is a little bit messy, but you know what? I'm only photographing this out here for the moment, so that's what I'm doing. So I thought I'd give you some info on how I got into this. I think someone actually sent me the link to this, but pretty much HipCamp put up a post saying they're looking for photographers, for professional photographers, to go out, stay a night for free and shoot and be paid for the photos. And so pretty much all I had to do was put together a little portfolio, and because I'd kind of been documenting our travels and staying at HipCamps and already kind of doing that, I had a bit to show. And pretty much from there, a couple days later, I got an email saying that I've been accepted into the program, and they'd sent me the list of jobs that needed doing. So we have just been traveling around Australia, checking to see if there's any near us, and luckily, as Julia said in the beginning, we had a look because we saw 3 in a row that's all about 15 minutes away from each other. So 3 nights of work. And the good thing is that the job is to experience the HipCamp. You know, it's not just about taking photos 24/7. It's about enjoying the experience, getting to know the features, and then capturing them often when the light's nice. No harsh midday light. That's not good. But anyway, that is one of my photo ideas. Gotta do a lot more than that though. Now we're just lining up the next shot, which is going to be this here. Workshop it a little bit. If you're looking to get into something like this, you do have to be comfortable behind the camera and sometimes in front of the camera if you have a trusty tripod, and also have some experience with editing programs. So for instance, Lightroom. For me, I've been taking photos for over 10 years. I've done a bit of everything. You know, I've done a couple weddings, events. I was right into macro photography for a little bit there. I've done family shoots, kind of everything that yeah, so it seemed like a pretty good match for me, which is why I applied. And Julius is a great assistant. Look at him on the drone pilot. He knows his place. So if you don't have that much experience, you could always just book a hip camp and take some photos, get a feel for it, and then when an opportunity does come up to be a photographer, you submit your portfolio. Bird just slapped in the water or something. And I guess they're the judge of whether they think you're up for it. But yeah, that's that. So let's get back to shooting before the sun goes down.
It's a little too hot for a fire, but we're going to sit around, take some shots, and then try and add the fire in later on.
We will include whatever it looks like. Whether we include it in the actual package back to hip camp and the host is another thing. But we're going to give it a go because it was like over 35 degrees today, and that's not really fire weather. All right, I think that's a wrap. I think we've got everything we need. Here's a sneak peek of some of the photos that we took. Oh, and that might be the in part of the thumbnail in back videos. So anyway, we disregard that one. Thanks for watching. Bye. I'm kidding. Are we over?
No.
No, we're not. Sorry, we'll see you again.
Hello. Where's your stick? Where's the stick? Where is the stick? Where's the stick? You looking for it? Where's the stick?
Like this stick? Go and get it.
Alright, it's time for us to make dinner, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.
I think it's 8 o'clock. I think it's 8 o'clock. It's time for dinner, isn't it? Dinner time. Did you say 8 o'clock? You didn't say 8 o'clock. You need to be specific with the time to let the people know that it's a little late, isn't it, for dinner? Yeah. Bye.
Well, it is time for us to move to our next site. Just having a bite of lunch. We'll probably jump in the creek again and then move to the next camp. Well, we've made it to our next site. It's a nice little farm stay, so we'll have to show you around because there are some Highland cows, which we're gonna go and find later. I'm having some afternoon nudes at the moment, and Brooke is sending out our pitch dock at the moment to a couple of brands to hopefully do some more photo shoots and photo work with as well, which isn't something we've done a whole heap of. So this is actually our last photo shoot of this little series that we're doing, and it's kind of rare that we have this many in a row. They kind of pop up infrequently for these sites, but it's been nice to have 3 in a row kind of close together. And while it's not a heap of money, it has meant, in combination with having the last few nights as a place to stay for free, the money we've earned will cover all of our fuel and food expenses for the week, which is nice. We're heading over now to see the cows.
I'm gonna say hi to the land cows. Say hi.
Get out.
Land cows.
Oh, they're getting
excited?
They're getting up to come see us. And there's babies. No, don't run away. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
They're all going.
So the cows did not want a bar of us. That's all right. I also forgot earlier how hot it gets in the afternoon here, so not the most pleasant to sit around the fire, but still stoked to be having a fire. Working it in the golden hour.
Me or the fire?
You getting the shots. Will this work better than our Photoshop?
Probably.
Round 2, trying to get up close to the cows, but this time I'm gonna bring the long lens, so if we can't, we can still get a photo. Brooke's getting distracted by birds though.
Oh yeah, cows.
Look at the hair go. There's no way you'll see that on this camera.
So I finished editing the photos from the first night that we did, Wabonga, I think that one was called, and uploaded those to the listing. So there's quite a few photos in here. So job is done for that one. Now I've just got to edit for last night's and then tonight's once all the photos are taken.
We've moved camps from where we were last night to this beautiful little spot on the river. We weren't actually planning to stay here, but we just stopped in for a swim and then we thought, why not stay here? It's a nice spot. So we've set up. We always sort of carry a bit of extra water and food so that we can do things like this if we choose to. But anyway, back on track. So when we first set out on this trip, the original plan was Brooke was going to continue to do a couple of shifts a week remotely with the company that she was working for. So she left her full-time position but went casual and was going to do a few shifts. And she did do that at the beginning of the trip. But then we sort of found that we were always moving about, doing something, didn't know where we were going to be, what we were going to be doing. And so she sort of didn't ask for more shifts and they didn't ask for more shifts. So we just sort of didn't pursue that too much. But definitely doing some sort of remote work like that, sort of computer-based stuff, is possible. I guess the main thing is making sure that you can run the equipment that you need. So if you're running a laptop, that, you know, if you're going to be off-grid, you've got a good enough off-grid system to run it, and if you need internet, that you have that. So if you're in sort of populated areas or around populated areas, you'll probably have phone reception, but once you get more remote, you won't. But nowadays with Starlink, you can have internet pretty much everywhere as long as you're not obstructed by trees. So we didn't have that at the beginning, but now we do. Even now, Brooke's just editing some more photos from that second camp and uploading them. We've got Starlink out at the moment, so you pretty much have connectivity anywhere. But yeah, that was the plan. I guess it sort of petered out a little bit. And the other way that we've afforded this is by trying to travel as cheaply as we can, really. So a lot of free camps like this one that we're at, and there are just a lot of free camps around Australia. They're not always as amazing as this one, but we have found some pretty incredible free camps all around the country. But then even if you're just commuting across, say you're going across the Nullarbor or you're going, you know, across the top end, there's a lot of rest stops and things for travelers to stop at for free. Or if we can't do that, we're looking for cheaper camps, so hip camps or different things like that. So yeah, that's another way. We also try to eat pretty cheap meals as well. We did a whole video actually on some of our favorite cheap meals. So that's another way that we save, and we don't eat out a whole heap either. We also don't drink a whole heap. Brooke doesn't drink at all actually, and occasionally I'll have a cheap bottle of wine and have a glass every now and again, or, you know, grab a 6-pack and have one or two. But yeah, we don't drink a whole heap, which saves us a lot as well. And we also sort of pick and choose what activities we're going to do, because they can add up pretty quickly as well. So, you know, things like up in the Northern Territory, there was croc tours and things which we opted not to do, and instead we went to Cahill's Crossing, where you get up pretty close and personal with the crocs and you can watch them feed, and it's free. And we're also doing a lot of national parks, so they're either free or you pay for, you know, an annual pass or a couple of month pass, and then it gets you into a lot of places for a pretty low cost. And then we sort of pick and choose the activities that we do want to do. Things like swimming with the sea lions was one that we did, and it was totally worth it. Like, there's a bit of cost there, but yeah, we just definitely pick and choose to try and stretch the budget as much as we can. So once we got on the road, a few different opportunities popped up, and we also saw a lot of different ways that different people were traveling and people that we became friends with, how they were traveling and affording to travel. One of the opportunities we got offered in North Queensland, we made friends with some guys up there. They offered us a gig doing set building for an advertisement, and it actually paid really well. We didn't end up taking it up because it sort of got pushed out because of weather and we had to keep moving with our schedule. But you know, something like that was just completely unexpected. Some of the other opportunities we didn't even know about when we set out, so shooting for the hip camps. We also recently joined up to the hip camp mates thing, which is similar, but you get a free stay and you go and provide content, so create, you know, user-generated content for reels and take some photos and different things like that. So that's something we've been doing over the summer with hip camp. But yeah, things like that pop up that you just sort of don't really expect will, but they very well may do. Some of the things we've seen other people do that we've met on the road have been they'll settle down for a few months and work and save, and then move on and travel for a few months and just rinse and repeat that as they move their way around. We met one guy in Western Australia living full-time in his caravan with his wife, and he had a full-time job in IT for a company that was based in Sydney, and he just was remoting in with Starlink, and they'd just move at the end of the week and, you know, go exploring on the weekends, and he'd start at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m, get his work done, and then he'd have the afternoons to explore the area he was in. There's quite a few people traveling around and running a business as well, so we've seen mechanics on the road, hair salons that are mobile. We saw one mob that were weighing caravans, like they had a mobile setup for being able to weigh cars and caravans for, I don't know, weight certificates and things like that. Just the most interesting sort of ideas that people have had that, you know, enables them to travel around and sort of live full-time while traveling. A few people we know as well do photography for brands and video stuff for brands, so creating content and works for either ads or for their social media and stuff like that. So they've built up a bit of a portfolio and they just work with brands to help support their travels. Definitely so many different options out there if you can get creative. If you are looking to travel full time, whether it's for a limited period or indefinitely, there's heaps of opportunities out there. There's ways to travel cheap. Hopefully this has given you some ideas, and hopefully you found it interesting as well.